Cheers, Jaron.
Cheers.
Cheers to the future.
Yes.
Into the past.
Yeah.
And
a long time ago.
Yeah, in a galaxy far, far away.
Galaxy far, far away.
Do you think that they drank everyday dose in the Star Wars universe in that time?
Oh, they might have. It might not have been mushroom based. It might have been something else. You know those big colorful plants they had on that one planet.
You're reading my mind. For some reason, I'm thinking of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, when they're killing.
3,
Yeah, when they're killing the Jedis,
Jedi.
and that one chick is in that one big.
Is it Aleia? Is that her name?
Aleia?
Yeah, Ayala. I could be wrong.
Maybe. I thought it was something different, but it could be that.
I'm probably wrong.
But yeah, I'm thinking like getting some of those and dusting them a little bit.
Yeah. Getting that medicinal fungus.
And everyday dose has 0 psychedelic effects.
Correct.
But
which in the Star Wars universe,
those things definitely would.
Or they had poisonous effects, and whoever drank them
maybe they had coffee made out of spice.
Oh, honestly,
that they got from not Corellia.
Well, the Spice Runners in general.
Yeah, from
Poe.
What was the planet called that they went to get? The Kessel.
Kessel.
Yeah.
Good old Kessel.
Yeah.
Good times, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think we pretty much revealed it. We've got our Star Wars shirts on.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are here talking about Star Wars. What's this week, Jaron? What's in a couple days?
Today's May 2nd.
Yeah.
2 days from now on Thursday is May the 4th.
And May the 4th be with you.
Yeah. And also with you.
And also with you.
Oh, thank you.
That's my Jedi
that was
voice.
Respectful.
You're welcome.
What was that, Qui-Gon?
I don't know.
Okay.
Just some abstract, generic Jedi in the background.
Yeah, we all have that generic Jedi voice in our head.
Yeah. Or whoever Star Wars / Lucasfilm decides to cast me as in their upcoming trilogy.
Assuming it's a Jedi.
Well, it's not going to be a Jed me. A Jedi. Jed me, Jed you. Jed everyone.
We all Jed.
I Jed you.
We all Jed for Jedi.
It's so dumb. I love it. Yeah. I love it. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's too early to say that, though.
Oh, crap.
But do you know what it's not too early to say?
Huh.
Hit the intro.
Let's hit the intro.
We lost. The fight is done. I mean, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah. That was a good Ewan.
Ewan McGregor.
Is it Ewan or Ewan?
Ewan. Ewan or Ewan? It's me and McGregor. All right.
Me, myself, and I, Gregor.
Me, myself, and Ewan. Are you ready?
I am.
All right. Let's get these lightsabers out.
Oh, yeah.
3, 2, 1. Okay. Well, big reveal. We've got lightsabers.
Yeah. We got Din Grogu over here, and we got Boba Fett. Now, if anyone could please explain to us why there's a Boba Fett lightsaber at Target. No. Meijer.
Yeah.
Then,
and Walmart, because we found it at both.
We found it at both.
But we bought them on a better deal at Meijer.
$2 cheaper.
Woo! I'm having performance issues.
Yeah. Oh man, I think that your Kyber,
okay.
I think your Kyber Crystal needs a little boost up in there.
Kyber Crystal Dysfunction. A little KD.
Oh,
I mean, dude, I can't.
Got lightheaded, dude. I'm not even kidding.
I can't keep it up.
Oh gosh, Kyber Crystal Dysfunction.
This is why Grogu needs more Jedi training. And honestly, this is sketchy territory for me to be talking about the child and my not performing well lightsaber.
He's like 52 though.
Okay, so I feel
he's
better.
A toddler.
You're right.
So
You're right.
The ethics are really unclear on that.
There's a lot of ethics in Star Wars that aren't very clear.
Yeah, I agree.
Such as, is it appropriate to keep a princess chained up on your mobile barge / bar?
That's not even up for grabs. That's just straight up like
yeah, it's not fair.
Slavery. Like that's
true.
That's not even. It wasn't consensual.
True. Well, actually, she did opt to go there to save Han, but that was not in her plan. So I agree.
Yeah. See, that's a great area. Yeah, I think I think you need to sprinkle a little bit of that blue chew dust on your Kyber crystal.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and make a joke, but it didn't come to me fast enough. I think I'm going to put my lightsaber away. And
Yeah.
for those who are listening and can't see, watch the video. It's highly entertaining seeing these stupid little lightsabers on camera. But yeah,
I agree.
I want to talk Star Wars with you, Jaron. Can we do that today?
I think so. I think it's, semi-appropriate.
It is. And honestly, with May the 4th coming up, it's time.
I think so.
So while we're getting the questions loaded up, can I hold that?
Sure.
We've been
I'm gonna
watching
need it back, though.
That's fine. We've been watching Star Wars for a long time. When did you first see it?
1977.
Okay.
No. I was
Okay.
probably 3 or 4, something like that.
Really?
At home, we had the I think we had the trilogy, and then we eventually got the 97 remaster. But I was 6 when that came out, so I don't think I was younger than 6 when I saw it. So I think we had the original VHSs, and then we got the 97 remaster set.
I got the Gold Box trilogy, which is the special edition, because I don't think they called it a remaster. It had some special verbiage. I think it was the special edition trilogy with the updated effects and the George Lucas cut that everyone really, really loved.
But you're talking about the 97 one.
Yeah, where he added in.
I had that. It was the gold one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's where he added in all the digital creatures on Tatooine at Mos Eisley, and
I
when
think a lot of people called it the 97 remaster. I don't think that was what it was called on the box.
it was the special edition. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
The Gold Box special edition.
Yeah, we had that. We had that.
We did too. I got it for my birthday, and I think I got it early because I was home on Christmas break, and my parents realized how bored I was, and I think they wanted me to just enjoy it. So I got to watch one episode every night for 3 nights in a row, and it changed my life. And I say that like it really didn't change my life. What it did is it changed my interest in movies and media and fiction. It was cool.
It was exciting as a boy to watch that, because it was sort of passed down to us a little bit from the older generation. So it was kind of exciting in that way because it wasn't just some kid show that was on TV that we were into. It was sort of something that was you knew it was cool because older people were watching it. And when you were really young, you looked up to people that were in their 20s or 30s or whatever, the old people,
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was exciting times.
It was for sure. And to commemorate the exciting times and the celebration of May the 4th, we've developed a list of questions for each other.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hold on to this forever because we're going to pass it back and forth. But first, and we'll both answer these as we go along.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one planet in Star Wars universe to live on the rest of your life, what would it be?
I think I've thought about this a little bit. I think probably the most romantic and least sandy planet in all of Star Wars.
Yep.
What
I
do you
know
think
where
that
you're
is?
going. It's Naboo.
Naboo.
Dude, can I be honest?
Yeah.
That's my answer too.
It was it really?
Yeah. I think it's the most scenic,
Yeah.
calming, serene planet that we encounter. Dude, the freaking city where Padme lives? I'm not going to answer your question for you, but you have.
Yeah, no, it's fine, dude. No, I agree. I think it was kind of magical, the planet.
Yeah.
And I think it was the first planet that in the Star Wars universe that, on screen that really had that kind of vibrancy to it.
Yeah.
So because we saw a lot of the planets we saw in the original trilogy were either desert or just planets that had a lot of
Are you referencing they were more realistic?
Maybe. I mean, yeah, I guess so. They had a lot of peril. There was a lot of planets in the original trilogy had a lot of perils to them. There was always some sort of something.
Oh, and this one did too.
Yeah, but then
Underwater.
But true, but then in episode 2, Attack of the Clones, they had an extended part on there, and there really wasn't anything perilous about it.
Yeah.
It was just romantic and unsandy.
Yeah. And it was a habitatable.
Yeah,
Habitable.
Habitable, yeah.
Okay. Tough word. Ignore me. It was a habitable planet for people to live on, too.
Yeah.
Like you said, the perils weren't there. The challenges of having a civilization live on that planet weren't prominent. And people could thrive there. And there was a very wealthy population there as well, too.
Yeah, the humans.
Yeah, they had good lives, from my understanding. As did the Gungans.
Yeah. Yeah, the Gungans, dude. And the thing about the Gungans is what's the most famous Gungan came out of there. And what was his name? It's like basically 2 words repeated.
Do you want me to say it?
Yeah.
People are going to get so angry if we talk about him.
Well, we got to have the good, bad, the ugly here.
Misa Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Binks.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think he started the Empire?
No. As entertaining as that fan theory may be, no. Dude, Jar Jar was aloof. He was not intelligent. George tried to correct that path by making him more appealing to the viewer in the other episodes where he had a little more of a prominent figure, especially when he was advising... Figure? Did I say figure? Figure?
Kind of sounded that way.
Yeah, his figure. When he was like an assistant to Padme, right? Episode 2?
Representative. Like she was the senator of Naboo, and he was a representative.
Oh, he actually had some powers.
Yeah, it's official. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
sort of. I guess it is a power. Like I think, and that's how it works in the real. I forget how that works exactly, but I think there are representatives. I don't know how it works, but yeah, he was kind of like second senator. He was like the JV team of senators.
He wasn't the star quarterback, but he got into play from time to time.
Yeah.
Well, ultimately, I think George was retconning him. I think he was trying to correct some of the damage that he had done because he was such a goofball and he was aloof and he was stupid.
Stupid.
I know you like that word. It's a little callback to our own episode 1,
He's
the
Gungan,
Phantom podcast.
He's Gungan and flawed and stupid.
Oh, dude, that made me so happy. Thank you for that. He's Gungan and flawed and stupid.
Stupid.
People got to go back and watch our episode 1. They do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he tried to fix it. I think that's ultimately what it was.
Yeah. I never minded Jar Jar too much.
I didn't either.
I'm not saying it was like the best creative choice or anything, but like I didn't, it wasn't anything to get real upset about. But granted, I was, I think 8 or 9 when that came out. So like I kind of just grew up with it, so it didn't bother me as much.
Because it came out in 1999, right?
In 99, yeah.
Well, I was 8 when it came out because I hadn't had my birthday yet, which means you would have been a year younger than me. So you were 7.
Yeah, could have been.
Dude, I don't want to delve into that too much because I know we want to keep asking some questions. We can get into specific movies and how they influenced us and what we thought of them. But, dude, that was a time to be alive as a kid. Even though we'd only been fans for a very short time, the hype surrounding the prequel trilogy was unreal. And for all of you watching that reference A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi as episodes 1, 2, and 3, I understand that's what you collectively reference them as, but that's not what they are now. That's just not how they're titled. I want to lay that out there that when we say episode 1, 2, and 3, we're talking about The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. And it's not because we saw them first. We saw 4, 5, and 6 like you did before seeing the prequel trilogies. I want to lay out a framework for how we're going to go about the episode. So if anybody's watching and is overly particular, that we have a discussion now.
Yes.
Do you agree?
I agree.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Do you have
I don't know that I could have articulated it quite that fiercely as you did, but
Well, I think it's worth stating.
Yeah.
Just out the gates. This is how we're going to talk about it.
Yeah. 4, 5, and 6 is OT. 1, 2, and 3 is PT.
Yes.
7 and 9, 7 and and then 7 and 9 are the ST.
ST.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, do you have another question, Jaron?
Yeah, I could do that.
Before moving on, I did have a secondary answer in case we encountered this. I would also live on Camino because it's so remote and secluded.
Yeah.
I like my space. You know me.
Yeah.
I like my alone time. Dude, I feel like I could thrive on Camino. Set up a music studio, have a podcast studio, invite you over from time to time, and we would just thrive. I'd thrive on my own. You can come over when you want.
Do you think there's any Gungans living on Camino?
They might be secretly underwater, and I don't think the Caminos care enough to go check.
Probably not.
Nah.
But
it's possible.
The city did extend underwater.
It did.
Topeka City or whatever it's called. And
Topeka, Kansas.
Topeka, the chick on Boy Meets World.
Yeah, I get where you're going with that.
I don't think that's her name.
Topanga. Topanga, Kansas.
I knew it wasn't right, but I just thought of that, you know.
It was good. I liked it.
Yeah. So, and really, I wanted to say one thing about the Gungans.
Okay.
To me, the Gungans are like if a frog and a Mardi Gras float had a baby.
Do you want to explain that to me?
No, I don't.
Okay, let's go on.
If you're a Jedi and you're having trouble getting the Force to work one day, what would you do or what medicine would you take?
Would you like me to answer first?
Yeah, that's why I asked you.
What would I do or what medicine would I take?
If you were just having, you know, it just wasn't your day, you weren't in the right mood, and you were just having some Force performance issues.
Force dysfunction.
Yeah.
I'd probably go back to that mushroom planet. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if I could ingest something to maybe get myself right with the Force. It's really tough to answer because I feel like a good Jedi wouldn't have a day like that. You might have a phase like that for sure, but I think there would be a deeper issue that you're trying to solve.
I agree. A good Jedi would not have a day like that. I'm talking about if you or I had.
Because we wouldn't be good Jedi.
Yeah,
I'd probably consult my doctor and take whatever they recommend. I imagine they would also have a pill for that or an app for that.
Yeah.
There would be some type of solution. I can't answer that. That's tough.
I think I'd try one of those little blue miracles.
Okay.
You know, I feel like that would be the first thing to try.
Okay.
You know, the little blue pill.
Oh.
That little miracle.
But do they have a red pill for the dark side users? We could try them. We could see the results of each.
I feel like if you're a Jedi and
Hold on. I gotta say this. If your connection with the Force lasts for more than 4 hours, consult your Jedi Grandmaster.
I knew it was gonna go there. Yeah. But I feel like if you're having, I think the blue pill would be good. And I just feel like if you're a Jedi and you took one of those, I feel like your midichlorian levels would go from like 6 to midnight faster than Han Solo could shoot first.
Yeah, but it's not going to last forever.
Maybe.
Just a Band-Aid, temporary fix to that problem.
I mean, yeah, but if you're facing an enemy, like you got to do what you got to do.
That's true.
So
honestly, I'd probably train a little bit, like a more serious answer too. We obviously have like the fun answer, which is the little blue pill that gets your connection with the Force back up and running. But I would consult someone.
Takes care of that Kyber Crystal Dysfunction.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. So you would take a prescribed blue pill from a doctor, and I would aimlessly wander around with no clue what to do, with no solution.
Sounds about right. And that would happen for at least 4 hours.
Yep, at least.
Yeah. You think let's be honest, we wouldn't call Yoda after 4 hours.
I mean, I'd probably get the whole council involved. I feel like I would need all of their help.
Yeah.
I personally would.
Especially, what's that guy, the older guy, like with the really tall head?
Kamundi.
You know, he was like something about
Let's look him up.
Okay.
Let's look him up. Mundi. I think Mundi is in his name. Mundi.
Jedi with tall head.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get some images going.
What's his name?
Kitty Mundi.
Yeah.
Kitty Mundi.
Mundi. Yeah, I was right. Master Mundi. Oh, yeah.
I just feel like if anyone's going to be able to help you out, it's that guy. You know?
Yep.
Like
no Force issues at all.
He has never had that problem a day in his life.
The ladies aren't complaining about his connection with the Force, that's for sure.
Not at all. Not at all. All right, you want to ask the next question?
Of course. All right, so let's see. You've already scrolled down, haven't you?
Yeah, that one at the top there.
Yep. So, question for both of us, but I will start with you. If the separatists were a real political movement, would you join them?
I think so, because I feel like they were, even though I think sometimes they were too violent and stuff, I think they were like the most liberty-minded, liberty-oriented. You
Okay.
know, I don't think the Republic was that way at that point. You know,
Yeah.
I think they were more about freedom in the galaxy than anybody. Now, I don't like the methods they used to get to that point, a little too extreme. But I feel like the separatists, at their purest form, not being influenced by Palpatine, I feel like they were more on the right track than anybody else, just purely philosophically speaking, with politically, with the way society should be and everything.
Okay.
What do you think?
My honest answer, I probably wouldn't align with them. And I probably wouldn't have aligned with the Republic either. I've always pretty stereotypically been somebody who refuses to play along with either side in a conflict. Reason being, the separatists' end goal wasn't what they were presenting to the people that they had separate from the Republic. And I think even those who had joined knew something was up, but they were getting something out of it, something that netted them a little bit more freedom than they would have had within the Republic itself. And I think you could agree, there were some ulterior motives. It wasn't just about separating and getting liberty for the people. I believe Count Dooku thought that was the case, but we all knew who was in charge of Count Dooku.
Right,
and
but
that was the Emperor.
and I agree, but I'm talking about just
how it's presented to the people.
I'm talking about probably the core vision that Count Dooku had or whatever.
If I believed that they could see it through, yes, but I think even as a perspector, is that a word? From my perspective as an individual having to choose between two sides, I wouldn't feel comfortable with either. I'd feel like something is up because that's how I would feel in real life.
Probably.
Does that make sense?
I would agree with that. I'd probably feel the same way.
That's too big of a power struggle.
I think I'm talking about I think I'm thinking more in retrospect. Now, in retrospect, it all was crap because it was just a whole big.
Yeah.
They were all being puppeted.
Like you're saying, I like what they stood for and I like the ideals, but I don't think it's truly what they were hoping to accomplish. I think it was an ends to a means to an end.
I think in real
end to an
life,
end.
like Joe Rogan, he'd probably be a separatist.
Probably.
And a separatist
Yeah.
is really just like a regularist, but just not there anymore. They gone.
Yep.
That was the
Yeah.
biggest.
It wasn't fake.
You're like,
It was funny to me.
all right. Are you good with that one?
I think so, but
Yeah.
who else do you think would be a separatist? Some influential people in this modern day and age.
Oh, yeah.
Alex Jones.
I think Alex Jones. I think probably Ron Paul.
Rand or Ron?
Definitely Ron. Maybe Rand. Yeah. I'm trying to think who else.
Donald Trump.
There.
Would
Yeah.
he be Jedi?
I don't know. I
Or
don't
would he
know.
be a separatist?
I don't know that he would be. I don't know.
That's a tough one to get into.
It is. I could see him on one hand being a separatist. On the other hand, I don't know. So I don't think that a lot of people would think he would be like the Emperor. I don't know that he would be the Emperor either. I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah,
We could dive deep into that, but
we could.
yeah. I don't know. I'm sure. I think people who are more into the independent parties or the libertarian parties, not that you have to be into those parties, but the ideology, I think those type of people would be more likely to be a separatist, because I don't see it as two-sided thing, separatist versus the Republic. That's how it was presented at the beginning, but
Right.
I see it more so as really it was the Republic versus
The nonconformers.
I don't know, dude. It's complicated.
So here's what's interesting before we move on from this one, because I just thought of this.
Yeah.
In comparable terms to the world that we live in, or in the United States alone, the separatists would be California. They're the ones that are trying to, in theory, remove themselves from the Union or the Republic.
Are they?
They don't want to be a part of the United States. That's something that they've
is that
said.
really
So
is that really a big thing?
wouldn't that make them the separatists?
Maybe you could say that about Texas too, though.
True. It's more complex comparing it to real life, for
Yeah.
sure.
I don't think it's a one side or the other thing on that.
It's really
politically.
not.
Yeah.
And I think that's why the separatists were so challenged, because it wasn't just about one side versus the other in terms of morals. It was about we all want this thing for different reasons. And I think that's probably what we're getting at
But
here.
I really think ultimately the separatist ideology was against authoritarianism.
For sure.
It was against, I know this isn't the correct term, but like globalism, but more galaxism.
Yes.
Okay. I think they were rebelling against that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
And
100%.
I think they were more okay with like different areas, different star systems, and everything kind of remaining independent. You can still have representation in a galaxy-wide body, but they're still independent. You know what I mean?
I do.
Like a United Nations type thing, or
United Galaxy.
yeah, exactly.
I do.
So
I think, you know what? I think we just tackled a pretty complex subject comparing it to the universe of Star Wars, which is funny because it's in a galaxy, not a universe. But let's go on.
I mean,
They call it the extended.
universe is in the galaxy.
Right, but they call it the
I
extended
just say the universe is in the galaxy is in the universe.
It is.
Yeah,
I think we should move on.
true. Am I asking the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you asked.
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
What are some similarities between pod racing and podcasting?
Off the cuff, not very much, name alone. But then I thought about it deeper because I had some time to dwell on this question. I guess you could kind of consider it a race. You know, like people want to be the best.
Yeah.
People want to be number one. You want to be number one trending. You want to have good metrics. You know, back to Joe Rogan, if he was a podcast racer, I don't think he'd be Sebulba because he's not like cutthroat from what I know. I think he's a pretty genuine person who looks out for those within the creative sphere, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's an Anakin, you know?
No,
I don't know
because
his
he's
true
not the
intent.
underdog. He's kind of the top dog, but he's not Sebulba.
Who's the guy whose podcast, or we're going to get this confused again, whose pod racer broke down at the beginning? I think he was...
Not Mars Goo. It was
the goofy looking guy was like, oh!
Ben Quadranero.
Ben Quadranero, that is it.
Yeah.
Dude, I had that game on Game Boy. Did I ever tell you that?
I didn't know they had it for Game Boy.
Pod Racer, Game Boy Color.
On Color, not
Yes.
not on DS.
Game Boy Color.
Oh wow. Okay.
It was actually a pretty good game.
I didn't know they had. It was 3D.
No. It was just,
It was a 2D pod racing game.
yeah.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Comparing it to podcasting to pod racing, they're both audibly intense, I guess.
Yeah.
One more than the other. It's a very stimulating thing, you know, for your ears. What do you think?
Have you ever listened to like a podcast at like 1.5x speed to get through it faster?
No.
Yeah, you have.
Nope, I don't do that.
You don't listen to anything 2x?
No,
But you
drives-
know you can do that, right?
Yes, drives me crazy, so I don't.
Well, if you listen to a podcast at like 2x speed, that's like pod racing, but for your ears.
Okay. Valid point.
That's it. That's all I had to say.
All right.
Yeah. Very profound.
Do you think there's a comparison to be made that whoever comes out on top is like king for a while, then everyone tries to race and catch up to them and see if they can overtake them?
I don't feel like there's as big a sense of that. Gosh, I can't talk. As big of a sense of that in podcasting.
Okay.
Because I think there are top ones. Like I think most people, I think it's pretty accepted that Joe Rogan's probably top dog.
Yeah, and it's probably harder to track
But like,
that now
I
'cause-
don't think that anyone feels like he's beating everybody else. Like, yes, technically his,
Right.
but like, I don't feel like anyone's losing to Joe Rogan. I mean, there might be people who feel that way. I'm just saying, like, in general, I think that like most people feel like they can have success despite whoever's ahead of them in podcast. And I don't think there's a little bit of competitiveness, but not near as much of it as a pod race.
Yeah. So I think that kind of answers the question that there is less of a competition and more of a race to see who all can be successful at the same time
Yeah.
in the podcasting sphere.
Like on a spectrum from like us to Joe Rogan.
Correct.
And that's pretty much the full spectrum.
Yeah. We're Anakin in this scenario.
Yeah.
Bro, we're the underdog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I hope one of the Jedis votes for our freedom.
Yeah. And then moves the dice.
The dice, yeah.
Yeah.
What does Watto say to him there?
Watto, yeah. I don't know. He gets mad at him or something.
Jedi mind tricks don't work on me, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah? It's not a good Watto impression. Sorry, guys.
I think in pod racing you have a lot of high speed collisions and explosive crashes.
And in
the same
podcasting.
way in podcasting, my jokes crash and burn.
Well, I was going to say something completely different. You have a collision of personalities and an explosion of ideas and
So
conversation.
yours is a lot more positive than mine.
Well, just a little more relatable,
Yeah,
I suppose. 'Cause
probably.
some people's jokes are good and they don't crash and burn. Just saying. I got that Sebulba energy right now.
Oh,
Voodoo.
gosh.
I know.
What
I
does
said
that mean?
It is a word I'm probably not going to say on here.
Oh, okay.
Starts with an S, ends with IT. There's one letter missing.
Slit.
Sit.
There's not any letter missing.
That was the joke. My jokes don't crash and burn, okay? Let me have this Sebulba energy.
Sounds good. You want to ask the next question?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Pass it this way. Let's go. All right. I like this one. Which organization do you think had better healthcare benefits, the Rebellion or the Empire?
I think like on paper, the Empire definitely had better health benefits. They had a lot more resources. But I also think that I think there was more of a chance that you would just die if you were an employee at the Empire.
Yeah.
I just think there's more of a chance that Darth Vader is just going to kill you for incompetence. I think that more Imperial employees died from Darth Vader killing them than Darth Vader killing, rebels.
That's fair.
Which is kind of funny, kind of messed up. It doesn't really seem very productive. But I don't have proof of that, but I don't think anyone's arguing with me either.
He's definitely killed his help, his employees, whatever we want to call them.
What do you think?
I kind of was along the same lines as you. I know that the resources are going to be better in the Empire. However, you have no clue what you're signing up for when you agree to work with them. Yes, they may advertise they have free healthcare, but what is free healthcare? Medical experimentation? Is that something they might perform on you?
Yeah, that's free healthcare.
Your life is a resource to the Empire. So if you have free healthcare, but you've got to go work on a planet where you're in prison to build something,
yeah,
what kind of healthcare is going to be in that prison where you're working?
They maybe will clone you for free, but then they kill the original,
right?
Which is you.
There's a catch in here. Is what I'm getting at is you have no clue what you're signing up for. So healthcare is a vague term with the Empire.
I think working for the rebels is like working for a nonprofit that doesn't have any benefits, but they treat you a lot better and you're a lot happier with the cause. So you have better mental health, even though maybe you don't have health insurance.
Well, think of this. In episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, Luke had his hand chopped off. He was on some type of a rebel ship when he had his hand replaced. They're clearly not just leaving their people on their own. They're not letting them fend for themselves. I mean, there were medical bays in those bases too.
They got back to tanks.
Yeah.
They got medical droids.
Yes, they do.
And they can even do, those
cybernetics.
Yeah. What are those things? The whole thing? A prosthetic.
Prosthetic cybernetics.
Yeah. Yeah. So they got those prosthetic hitters. And I don't think they were made out of Beskar or anything, but they were, it held up for Luke for a long time.
Dude, on that note too, talking about his hand, when you were a kid and you saw that scene for the first time, did it blow your mind? Did it freak you out? When you saw I'll pass this to you. When you saw his wrist open a compartment and inside were robot parts moving a human hand, what did you think?
You know what? I was not very freaked out about that, but I was freaked out of when they were poking his fingers with the needles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of was a little weird.
A little too much for you?
No, I wouldn't say it's too much, but it definitely, when I was real young, it kind of was wigged me out, ugh,
Yeah.
But not in a real bad way or anything. It was just ooh.
Interesting.
Because I think you're more scared of needles when you're a younger kid,
I think some people are just more susceptible to be scared of needles in general. Needle phobia.
Yeah.
For those with needle phobia, avoid, what are they called? Evergreens? Pine trees.
Yeah.
Avoid those at all costs. You can
Ooh.
go to Endor, I'm pretty sure. I don't think they have those there, do they? Oh, they
Endor?
probably do. They probably do.
They might. They had a lot of redwood. They had a lot of California redwoods there.
It's not like they filmed it in California. It's like a real place, guys. Trust me.
So, yeah. Next.
Yeah. Hit me with it.
Sounds good. If you could choose any Star Wars character as your mentor or life coach, who would it be and why?
Ooh. Babu Frick.
Yeah.
Babu Frick. I feel like optimism would be spewing out of me because he's like, hey, you guys, you know, dude, like he's just like so happy.
You know that he is fun to have at parties.
Oh, for sure. I don't even need him as my mentor, which that is what he will be to me, but
He would probably be over there like dancing on the bar, mixing people's drinks, and he would probably like get the mix like perfect down to the microscopic level.
yeah.
You know?
You're not going to know what he's saying, but you'll get a general idea of what he's trying to get across.
Dude, imagine him as a DJ.
Oh. Hey.
Yeah, but also like, you know, I just think he could really just totally dominate a turntable.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
With his technical know-how and his prowess,
Yeah, and
for sure.
Doesn't he have 4 arms?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like he wouldn't be able to reach very far, but I feel like he could mod like a sound setup to be able to reach stuff better, and he'd be able to control 4 things at once.
Well, we could make it tiny little turntables, you know?
Yeah.
they could be appropriately
Cute
sized.
little turntables.
Yes, with like
Like the little CD-ROMs that were like the smaller ones.
yeah, because
Like
they're not going to be records. They're going to be like data discs or some Star
Yeah.
Wars verbiage, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, who would you
Like
choose?
the archive tapes in the Jedi
yes.
temple. Yeah.
Yes. Who would you choose?
I have 2. One is a Jedi one, and one's a non-Jedi.
I've got a serious answer too, so if you do 2, I'll come back.
Okay, sure. The non-Jedi one would be Luthen Rail from the Andor series.
Nice. Dude, he is
just
so
think
cool.
He is cool. I just think he's inspirational. Like he really fought for a long time for the rebellion, and like I just was inspired by him during the Andor series. That speech he gave down in the underworld of Coruscant to Cassian. I just he's pretty awesome. I think he's definitely one of the most impressive non-Jedi figures.
What about when he was talking to the spy that they had working for the Empire? He was kind of like a mole. He was feeding information back to him. Remember when the guy got cold feet? The guy working for the Empire directly under.
Yeah.
God, I can't remember her name. It's been a couple months since I've seen it.
Yeah.
But the guy was like, I can't do this anymore. And then Luthen told him, he's like, you have no idea what I've lost.
That's the speech I'm talking about.
You said he was talking to Cassian.
Oh, shoot. You're right. I messed up.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but he was in the
That
underworld
is
of
the
Coruscant.
speech. Yeah, dude, it was sweet.
Okay, my mistake. That's what I'm talking about.
You're not a true Star Wars fan, Jaron.
I know.
Nope.
No.
Don't talk to me.
Do you remember what level of the Coruscant underworld he was on?
Yes, it was...
It was like 1492 or something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the sound I make when I think and I don't know.
My Jedi one, I think, would be Qui-Gon Jinn.
Dude, why are we on the same page?
I don't know. But I think we didn't tell each other these answers ahead of time.
No.
For sure, we didn't. I think he was the most sane out of all the like main Jedi people.
Yeah.
Like during that time. And I don't know. I just think that he was really like had a lot of down to earth wisdom and skill, but he wasn't wrapped up in the politics.
Yep.
And I don't know. I think he would be really good to learn from. Yeah.
Agreed. I think it's worth noting too, if it wasn't for Qui-Gon Jinn, Anakin probably would have just been converted to the dark side and never made it back.
Yeah.
He was the reason that people had faith in Anakin to do good.
And then Anakin wouldn't have destroyed the Emperor.
Yeah.
And then the Emperor wouldn't be able to somehow return.
Yeah.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Yeah. So,
We don't know how or why. It's not important, but he's back.
yeah.
Remember the trailers where he laughed? He's back.
Somehow he returned.
Somehow. That's one of the best lines of all time in the whole franchise.
know.
Whoever wrote that, wherever you are, hold on. Gotcha. It was a terrible line.
Yeah. I just think, I mean, it wouldn't have been terrible if they would have expounded on it.
Yeah. It gives some explanation, but not make it was Palpatine all along. Like, there was no setup for it.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah, I agree. Are you asking the next one?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
But to give you a serious answer, I would have chosen Qui-Gon as well. I think Yoda would have been another great one. Yoda in his prime. Yoda was awesome. He also supported Anakin. He didn't guilt Anakin into feeling bad for having feelings and emotions. Yeah. He almost supported it without supporting it. Obi-Wan just ignored it. Yoda addressed it, but made sure that Anakin knew, like, you were normal for feeling this way, but I can't have you be like this. Mm-hmm. I want you to be better. I think Yoda would have been a great role model.
I think he would have too. I think there's no one wiser or just skilled with the Force or anything than Yoda.
Oh, for sure, dude. He was a
Jedi speaking, and I don't. But the thing, I thought about that, and I just don't know that that Yoda would have been relatable enough for me to really feel like I could connect with him on kind of like a mentor level.
Sorry, I judged you.
It's okay, because first of all, I just think just his way of talking and thinking is so other than, and like he's so high up. He's the Grand Master that like I think it would be hard. It would be like you're a low level person of company and you're gonna go in and like, you know, shadow the CEO. You'd just be kind of nervous and like he's so far above you that like it would be hard to connect with him maybe.
Yeah, but he wasn't that way. He wanted to connect.
No.
Do you remember him working with the younglings?
Sure.
Before Anakin slaughtered all of them?
Yeah, you're right. He'd probably be great.
Yeah, dude.
He'd probably be great.
He would talk to anybody and have any type of encouragement or words of wisdom for any Jedi beneath him.
I think I probably just saw more vulnerability out of Qui-Gon that, like, I think maybe just easier for me to relate to him, but I'm sure Yoda would have been great.
Right, but Qui-Gon was my initial answer too, so it's not like he's challenging for the number one spot in my mind.
This
I'm just having an
this isn't a
alternative.
race thing.
No, it's not.
It's not because he's human. It's not because he's human and Yoda's not. You know,
Right.
I'm not being racist against.
Well, it's not racist. That is speciesist.
Specious.
They're not different races. They're different species.
True. And I'm not, you know, prejudiced against Yoda's species, which we don't know what it's called.
Yeah, nobody knows. Can we just get an answer to that? It's not like it's going to
we thought we would
story.
at the end of Mandalorian Season 2 or in Season 3, we thought we'd know.
Right, but why not just reveal it? It's not like it's going to blow people's minds when they say what the species is. It's not going to be relevant to anything.
But I think there's so much mystery behind it that they have to get it right. So they're either just waiting and really developing it, or they're just not going to do it because they don't want to mess it up. I don't know.
Well, I think we could talk about that for sure, but I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. This one's going to be fun. If there is a vehicle or ship from the Star Wars universe that you would purchase, what would it be, Jaron? What would it be?
I think I've been really into that modded N1 Naboo starfighter.
Okay.
That Din Djarin, he got a hold of.
Oh, is it the Naboo one?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what that is.
Yeah. The one from during
Yeah.
I think he got during the Book of Boba Fett episodes.
He did.
And then he has it for all of Mando Season 3.
Yeah.
But it's that, the one that Anakin flew in The Phantom Menace.
Yep.
He got one of those and he modded it with the help of Peli Moto or whatever her name is on Tatooine.
Yep.
And that thing's pretty sweet. And I just
agree.
like how, just small and quick it is, and it can do a lot. I think he went into hyperspace. Yeah. It does hyperspace travel, which is pretty crazy for something so small to do hyperspace travel.
Yeah.
So I just thought overall it was just a really impressive ship. It fits. It'll fit a person and their, Grogu sidekick. So if you have someone that small as your sidekick,
Just put him up top.
yeah. I don't think it could fit a regular adult human.
No. I like the little lookout for Grogu, though. I think that's something real cool.
I know, that was just perfect.
You got the child right there on you.
Yeah, Grogu.
Almost looks like he's in that little glass bubble pop up.
Yeah, True. Maybe that's funny. I didn't think of that.
Do you want to know
You're so
something
insightful.
else?
What?
You know something else funny? Besides my insightfulness? The ship that I chose?
Yeah, what's yours?
It's also from Naboo. It's the Naboo Royal Cruiser.
Oh, yeah. It has a name.
Padme Amidala's ship in episode 1.
Yep. That's a cool one.
I freaking love that. Dude, that would be like the Bentley of Star Cruisers. I mean, dude, could you imagine riding on that thing?
Let's look it up.
Yeah. Could you imagine? Let's look at both ships, too, and you can show the one that you had mentioned.
What's yours? That was
the Naboo Star Cruiser or Royal Cruiser.
It had a name. It was because they were calling it that when
That's a
Nubian.
It's a Nubian ship because it's from Naboo. That's what Nubian means. Nubian is how you reference people from Naboo.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's not even spelled the same way.
Americans are from America.
Oh, dude.
It's Nubian. Yes, that's what that was referencing.
What?
Nubian parts.
Dude, that is a cool image, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one that I saw when I picked this and was looking up ships.
Dude.
Yeah,
dude. That is pretty sweet. And that thing could do a lot.
Oh, I love the way that it would cloak, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just also
it's just sleek.
The vibe of that ship on the interior is so cool too. I know it's kind of classic Star Wars, but there's something different about the aesthetic. So now that we've seen the one that I've chosen, let's see the one that you chose.
Yeah.
Yeah, the modded one. Dude, what is it with us in Naboo? Clearly we love that place.
Yeah, I honestly think I almost said the Phantom of the Menace.
The Phantom of the Menace.
The Phantom Menace was a really special movie for us. And say what you want about it. Everyone has their opinions, and that's fine.
I'm going to say what I want about it. We'll get there.
Like, it has its issues, don't get me wrong, but like for us when we were kids, it was such a cool experience. And so I think it shaped us a lot. But yeah, this thing, man, and I think this picture is with Anakin and R2-D2. Here, I'm going to type in modded to see if we can get the one from the Jaron has.
For sure.
But
I think that was one of the coolest callbacks in more modern Star Wars era, showing that the prequels weren't as bad as people made them out to be. Yeah, because his isn't painted yellow. It's got the vibe of his ship from season 1 and season 2.
The Razor Crest.
Yes, the Razor Crest.
That thing was cool.
Yeah, it was.
In its own way.
And it kind of had like a freighter vibe to it.
It was kind of a beast. Like it might not have been it was a beast.
Well, it was clearly for transporting cargo, which were the bounties. Grief cargo. I know.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's probably his real name.
True.
Ultimately, though, I think it was for cargo because he was capturing his bounties and storing them down below deck. That's why that ship was...
He was smuggling paper towels?
Yes. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. That's what they called him on the street. It was Mando or Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Yeah.
Because he'd be like, come with me. And they'd be like, sure.
That was his dealer name. Yeah. All right. We good? Good on that one?
I think so. I'm pretty content. I love my Star Cruiser.
If you could have any color lightsaber, what would it be?
I've thought about this for years. And I would love to come up with a complex, unique color. But I think I would have teal. It would be mostly green, but leaning towards blue.
That is teal.
Yeah.
Is there an example of that? There wasn't any teal.
There have been, but I think
not
it's
in the
more,
movies, though, right?
I don't think a main character's had
that would
one.
be a cool. I love the color teal, by the way. That would be a really cool color.
Kind of like aquamarine, surf green.
Because I think you can actually like combine 2 Kyber crystals to get that color, right? Like that's possible from the lore, from what we understand, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Mace Windu has purple.
Yeah. Which is a secondary color.
Yep.
And teal is not even a secondary color; it's a tertiary color. Yeah.
Because it has a primary and a secondary to make another? Because green is a secondary color. So are you saying when you combine a primary and a secondary, we don't know the science behind this. Help us out.
I'm actually a graphic designer, so I should, but I don't.
You should.
Either way, it's like a secondary 0.5 color.
Okay.
It's like in between secondary and tertiary.
I can live with that.
I don't know what I would do. I think I love Ahsoka's lightsabers. Are they white?
Yeah, they are.
Those are cool.
Yeah, they kind of got a gray, silverish tinge to them on the outside.
I think I might want something like that that maybe has like a very slight blue kind of halo to it.
Uh-huh.
It's like white, but just a hint of blue.
Yep.
You know, I just love those. That would be cool. I didn't really care for the yellow one that Rey had at the end of Rise of Skywalker. It was okay, but it just wasn't. I don't know.
Did you know it's not yellow?
What is it like?
It's goldenrod, like orangish, indicating her position as like a guardian.
Oh,
because
I didn't know that.
the Sentinels, I believe, at the Jedi Temple had yellow historically, but hers was a little more red, leaning into her lineage of her dark side heritage, mixed with the fact that she was defending the Jedi way.
Interesting.
Yep. And again, this is all conjecture and probably irrelevant. And
also, that's not actually technically canon. It's just kind of.
I don't think there's any canon behind why any of them actually have the colors of their lightsabers. You have like external sources that state how the colors determine what someone is, but never once is it actually set in a movie.
Gotcha.
You know? And that's canon for the average person watching Star Wars, but for those who watch Clone Wars and Rebels and any of the other shows that were helmed by George or Dave Filoni, I think there's definitely some answers, but as far as Rey goes, no, there was no actual confirmation.
Cool.
I have a question for you, though.
Yeah.
Along the lines of lightsabers, I know what color you would like, but what style would you have?
What do you mean style?
You have your classic one blade you hold with two hands. You have your two blades that you hold with each hand, one blade in each hand. You have your dual-sided that you can spin around and do cool tricks with and get sliced in half because you can't do much to defend yourself.
I think I just have the traditional single.
Dude, I'd have two. For sure.
I honestly think that, and I don't know if this is like against the Jedi code, the way, because I don't know that we've seen it, but I would legit want to have a lightsaber and a blaster.
Okay. In a version of a fan fiction of Episode 7 that I've developed, which I will absolutely never share with anyone because I didn't get too far into it. That's something
now I'm very curious.
I'll actually show it to you after this.
Oh, okay. Just not publicly.
Actually, I might at some point if it was good. I think it's pretty decent to start off.
Nice.
But I had a character that was force proficient but used a blaster.
I just think with the long distance, like there's just a lot you can do with a blaster that we've seen on Star Wars that Jedi just can't do. And I understand. I think that the nature of Jedi is to just be defensive,
right,
and not offensive. And so I think that maybe that's why they don't have blasters and stuff. But let's just face it, they're offensive. And so I just think
they are.
I just think you could do a lot. Like if I was ambidextrous enough to be able to pull that off.
Uh-huh.
I don't know which hand I would have because I'm right-handed, so I can't even imagine doing a blaster or a lightsaber with my left hand. But let's just face it, this what we're talking about is so outside of reality that we can just go ahead and say I'm ambidextrous. So I think I would try to go for that vibe.
That's cool.
Blaster
I like
and
it.
lightsaber.
So you probably have to have a smaller blade then, because you need control. The single-handed or the single blade lightsabers are typically held with two hands because of how heavy they are. So you'd have to have something like one of Ahsoka's short ones where you can like defend against other things.
Are the blades actually shorter on hers?
One is, yeah. One of her blades is shorter.
Oh, okay.
And that's more
right.
like the aggressor is the one that she can quickly maneuver like a rapier. And I want to make sure that people understand I'm talking about a small sword. Don't get that confused. Dangerous. Let's not get canceled.
Not again.
And then her her long one is the one that defends, typically.
Okay. So I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. Pull them up.
I think I could do a long one with one hand.
Look up Ahsoka's blades. For show. I'm not commenting on that, Jaron. I know what you said. It was good, though.
Sabers.
How do you spell her name? A-H-S-O-K-A?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Look, right there. There's a prime example.
Where at?
Go up. Go up. Right there.
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we can zoom in on that. Oh, yeah, that's from is that an official promo for this show.
All of her blades have been like that all throughout Clone Wars, and you can see a clip from The Mandalorian down there too if you keep going.
I just didn't realize that because, like, look at that one on the left. That doesn't look like they're.
Dude, they're completely different lengths.
Look
at the hilt.
The handles are different. Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome. I didn't really realize that.
But that's a toy, so I feel like they made concessions. And you can see it there, kind of.
Concessions, dude. I could go for like some nachos right now.
These are my concessions. Do you remember Usher?
Tell me there's anything better than like getting like a Pepsi at a baseball game with the little pellet ice in it.
I'll argue with you. I would get a Coke.
Well, yeah, but they normally didn't have that. They normally had Pepsi.
I think it depends on the venue. I'm taken back to like playing in elementary school. I think we had Coke products, and that's probably why I'm stuck on that.
Maybe it's just whatever you had.
Whatever you knew. But yeah, dude, concessions, hot dogs, popcorn, pretzels,
dude.
nachos.
I just think she's so cool, dude. And
she is.
I am looking forward to the Ahsoka show.
I am as well. I think she deserves more of a prominent role in a future movie or trilogy.
What do you think about Rosario Dawson?
I think she's doing great.
Yeah, I think she is. I think she's a really great actress. There is a little bit of a different vibe just in her demeanor and personality, but she's much older. I don't know. I think I'm okay with it. It's just, I'm good with it.
Comparing
it's
her
just
to...
not, it's just not quite as natural of, as a representation as I would have.
Are you comparing her to Ashley? Is it
Eckstein or something?
Ashley Eckstein. Yeah.
I think the voice is pretty different.
It is, but here's the thing. Ahsoka's aged. We only saw a few instances in Rebels, I believe, where Ahsoka was older. And Ashley Eckstein did a great job. There's no denying that. She really is Ahsoka to most people and probably will be. And to me, I'd say she's more Ahsoka. But translating into live action, I think Rosario Dawson
She definitely has the best look.
She's got the energy of the character, though. Her demeanor is so calm.
Yeah.
And, like, purposeful. And that's what you saw in adult Ahsoka after she got kicked out of the Jedi Academy. She was still in the Academy, right? Because she wasn't an actual Jedi. So I'm trying to think of what she was kicked out of.
She was the Jedi Order.
Jedi Order. There we go. So she was a Jedi at that point?
I think so.
Okay. Because she was still training, though.
She was a Padawan.
Right. Which I believe...
think the Padawan is after the Academy.
Oh, yeah.
I think
you're
so, right?
Yeah, they're in training to become
like the Academy is when you see all the groups of the younglings.
What are we going to do, Master Skywalker? Like those?
Skywalker.
What are we going to do? That kid's voice cracks me up. I think it's George Lucas' son, by the way.
Oh, really? He had a son that young when... I guess he wasn't,
Yeah, I think that was his son. I could be wrong. If anybody can comment by watching or listening, let me know if I'm wrong. I never am.
We should probably wrap it up soon, but before we do,
we
probably need to do our Star Wars rankings.
I agree.
And let's just do the 9 movies, the numbered movies.
Yeah, I'm down.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, and we have not shared this with each other.
No, we have not.
Yeah.
Real quick, can we have a preface conversation to say Rogue One and Han Solo? It's pretty clear how those rank, just so if anybody's curious.
Yeah.
On the count of 3, we say which one's better. 1.
Oh, out of those 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Rogue One.
Yeah. It's Rogue One. It's definitely Rogue One. Yeah. No question.
And I thought Rogue One is one of my favorite Star Wars. I would rank it in my top 2 to 3 Star Wars movies ever. But for this ranked list, we're just going to stick with the 3 trilogies.
I can't say the exact same thing. However, it's funny because Andor is one of my favorite Star Wars shows. It is.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's awesome.
Totally.
People don't get what it was. And again, they're always searching for the mystical and the fantastical with Star Wars.
I think a lot more people liked Andor than you might think. I think it was one of the most popular ones.
I hope so.
I'm sure you've heard some negativity about it because it didn't contain any Jedi mysticism or anything, but...
Fight me. I don't care.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead with your rank list.
All right, so I've got 9 movies.
Okay.
Can I hold your tablet?
Sure.
So I can kind of like write them down as I go?
Yeah, but I don't want you to see mine.
Oh, yours on there?
Yeah, I wrote them down because I don't remember.
Then I can
I'll do a bunch of spaces and then you can...
I'll do this.
Okay.
I got it.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to start at the bottom. And my least favorite Star Wars movie should come as no surprise. It is Episode 8, The Last Jedi.
Oh, wait, you're putting that on the list?
Yeah. It's one of the 9 numbered entries.
It is.
Yeah. I get what joke you're making, but in all seriousness.
No, I have it on mine.
Yeah, that's bottom F tier.
It's not
Like,
even the bottom shelf. It's like the dust and grime underneath the bottom shelf.
yeah, it's just down there and you forget it exists. Well, I don't forget it exists. It's a painful memory. I'm exaggerating, but really, it's awful.
I know.
I don't think it worked for the franchise. I don't think it appropriately followed the story that was set forth by The Force Awakens, and I think it was a director/writer making creative choices to make Star Wars his own rather than honoring the story that came before it. Like, cool, subverting expectations isn't a bad thing, but you don't do it in Star Wars when you've set a precedent for what the series is and what it's about. So
I agree.
My personal opinion, it was awful.
Yeah.
Number 8, I am going to hand it to...
That's confusing, though, so just say second to bottom.
No. Number 8 on my list of Star Wars movies is The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, so number 8 is number 9.
Yes.
Episode 9.
Yes. The 8th one on my list is The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
We briefly touched on it, talking about it in this episode. Somehow Palpatine returned.
Yeah.
It was cool to see the movie in the theater and like get hyped and then realize like, but why? You know?
Yeah.
Not much more to say about that. Kind of a lackluster conclusion to not only the trilogy, but the franchise overall and what they were referencing as the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
What a letdown.
Yeah. It was lackluster. It was lackluster the molester.
I don't know if that joke's going to play as well because if people don't get the reference, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Next up would be number 7 on the list, which is Attack of the Clones. Not the worst Star Wars movie I've ever seen. D tier for sure. Probably right there with Rise of Skywalker. The things about Attack of the Clones that make it good, though, were the story points that set up for what came in episode 3.
Yeah.
So there were really, really awful parts. Some of the scripting was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to dwell on that one much longer because I think you can watch the movie and find out why. Jumping through the factory, the awful visuals there, the tacky CG work, C-3PO losing his head and being on a droid and going, oh! Like, it was so dumb.
It was, yeah.
There were really good parts about that movie, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Number 6 on my list is The Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really inherently wrong, other than looking at the movie in retrospect and what it did for the sequel trilogy. It was all set up and a lot of potential, and nothing came from it. And the worst part is that was the last movie with all 3 of the cast members alive expected to be cast in those films.
Yeah.
And Han Solo was to never come back because he died. And the only reason he came back in episode 9 was because they couldn't do anything else. And he was like some memory or figment of Kylo Ren's imagination.
It was just, figment of his imagination. It wasn't even real.
Because they couldn't do anything else. The real missed opportunity with The Force Awakens was never having the original cast back together again. So shame on you, Star Wars. Shame on you, Lucasfilm. You guys really screwed the pooch on that one. And I'm so disappointed in what that sequel trilogy was. You could have done so much better, and you guys know it. But you did what you thought was best, which was appeasing a new generation rather than the fans that built that franchise up. So, where's my lightsaber? That's what I think of you guys.
Wow, and you got a full performance on that one.
I did. It was nice. Moving on to number 5. This is going to make people upset. Revenge of the Sith. I have no issues with the movie, really. I think it was an excellent, excellent prequel film. And I loved it. It was a satisfying conclusion to the prequel trilogy. For me, though, I personally think that Phantom Menace was better, which is really going to upset people, which puts it at number 4 on my list. I loved the visual aspect, the cinematic aspects of the movie. Felt a lot more like the original trilogy to me. The way that the film was captured the overall visual aesthetic, the lighting, the color grading, the grain of the film. I think it integrated CG much better than people realize because it wasn't captured on a digital camera like Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, and it just looked better. Are there tacky parts? Absolutely. Was the CG work great all throughout? No. Was the story good? Yes. Should Anakin have been a teenager instead of a kid? Yes.
Yeah.
But these are all things that I can headcanon myself to retcon or rectify, whatever you want to call it. It's an awesome movie, guys. Appreciate it. That opening scene, dude, where the Jedis are on the battle station.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that is one of the best Star Wars scenes of all time. I don't care what anybody
the Trade
says.
Federation battleship thing.
Yeah, dude, when Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon step out and you're like, what? Jedi traveled in groups?
Yeah.
I loved it. So
that was just so crazy to see that when we first saw it. Yeah.
So to summarize, this won't take much time. In order of 3, 2, 1 of my favorites: A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. So Return of the Jedi is number 1.
Is that? Return of the Jedi is number 1?
Yeah, that was ascending order. So Return of the Jedi is number 1, Empire Strikes Back is number 2, A New Hope is number 3, because you cannot have a successful trilogy without a successful conclusion. And each one of those movies did so much more for the movie that came before it, which is why the sequel trilogy is at the bottom of my list. And why this one is at the top.
Wow.
In ascending order from the way that the films were released.
It's an interesting ranking.
I love it. Dude, I love the OG trilogy. I love the conclusion. That's my thoughts. That's my opinions. I'm not even going to go into the OG trilogy. There's nothing to say. They're great.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
What about you? I'm curious to hear yours.
Well, I guess I'll go in reverse order like you did.
Okay.
The very bottom of the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
The last terrible movie Star Wars will ever make, hopefully.
Hopefully.
The Last Jedi.
Yep.
I don't even really want to say anything about that. Second to last would be The Force Awakens. And really, I think Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker kind of tied for me, but like I put Rise of Skywalker third to last because there were some things I really liked about it. And I think, you know, it was definitely dealt some bad cards and had a lot to overcome, but I think there was some redeeming qualities about that I liked. Not fully redeemed. It could have been a lot better, but I don't know. I just think it was a little more epic of a movie for me than Force Awakens.
That's fair. I agree. I'm not going to disagree with that.
Yeah. And then down from there would be episode 1. I know it's pretty far down the list. I don't hate it. I like episode 1. But I just had others ahead of it. And then up from there would be number 6, Return of the Jedi.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Return of the Jedi, but I don't think it was...
It's number 6 on your list? Are you sure you didn't get it confused
number
with
5. Number 5 on my list.
Okay. You didn't say that. It's very confused.
Sorry. I'm just going in reverse order. Then from there, Attack of the Clones.
I'm sorry. You're putting Attack of the Clones ahead?
Yes.
Wow. What's your reason?
There was some really epic stuff in Attack of the Clones I liked. The fight between Yoda and Count Dooku, the whole battle of Geonosis with like the Jedi all in a line, we never see a big battle of Jedi until then. That's the only time we ever see it.
That was the first one.
All those Jedi coming against all those battle or whoever they were fighting against.
The Geonosians and the battle droids.
Yeah, it's true. That was just kind of epic. As quirky as there's so much quirkiness in that movie.
Dude, that is wild to me. It's not to devalue your list, but wow.
No, I know it's funny, and I just a lot of these are pretty much this really close in terms of my ranking. Like a lot of these could just be tied, but I had to put an order to them. You know.
Okay.
Up from there is number 5, Empire Strikes Back, and
that's number 4 on your list.
That's number 3.
Oh, okay.
Then number 2 on my list is A New Hope. Okay. I think that was my favorite of the original trilogy. And then number one, to me, there's nothing better than Revenge of the Sith.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Revenge of the Sith.
That's fine. I do too.
Yeah. But you know what? I don't have strong feelings about this ranking. Like, I like all of them, except for Last Jedi. But like, I like all of them. It's not like the rankings really mean that much to me. It's just I had to put it in the order as best I could. So it's not like this is a strong indication of what I like and dislike. I will say I like all of them except for The Last Jedi.
Okay.
I'll say that.
I will agree with you in saying that I don't like The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I know your opinions may not be as strong as mine, but I was severely, severely disappointed in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
I get it. People have decisions to make. There's marketing. There's
I was too. I was really disappointed in it too. But I still, there were some elements of The Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker I tried to enjoy, and I liked some of that. I will say there were like no elements of The Last Jedi that I liked.
yeah, that's fair.
I could probably be a little bit more fair about it and find a couple things I like about it, but I don't really want to.
So there's been a discussion amongst people as to whether we could potentially see either a retcon of the sequel trilogy or an alternate sequel trilogy through the World Between Worlds and Ahsoka going there and finding an alternate timeline. Would you be okay with an alternate sequel trilogy that honors the ethos of Star Wars a little bit more in further detail?
I don't know. Like, I would be okay with that, but I also just think it's too easy. I think it'll devalue Star Wars.
I think the sequel trilogy did that on its own.
Sure.
So would it really be devaluing it?
I think it's like, okay, it's going to turn into a Marvel thing where it's like, oh, we can just do whatever we want. I like Marvel, by the way. But like, I'm just saying, like with Marvel, so many things can be retconned or redid or whatever because of the multiverse and all that. So it's like, I feel like it's just like, okay, we don't like this. We're just going to do an alternative timeline or whatever. And I don't know, maybe that's the best choice. I don't know that it is. I have mixed feelings about that. I'll just say that.
Okay.
I like the direction they're going with really trying to put a better context onto the sequel trilogy and just being like, okay, everyone kind of knows that, you know, they don't really like the sequel trilogy, but we're just going to try to have it a better context by some of the content they're creating now. And then ultimately just make better content for the future. Like after this, that happens after the sequel trilogy.
Right.
Or even from the point of The Mandalorian up till, because we still have like,
5 years or
25 years between like the time of where things are at with The Mandalorian and Ahsoka. Between that and the sequel trilogy is like 25 years. Because the sequel trilogy is like around 34 BBY or ABY.
I think it's 20 years away or less. I think Kylo Ren was like 19 in The Force Awakens. Or 20. I don't think he was in his 30s.
Yeah, but it is canon that those movies happened around 34 ABY.
Oh, then they had him later. I'm getting his age and the actual distance between confused.
Maybe, but it was 30. I think it was 34 ABY, and Mando season 1 happened around 9 ABY, and I think Mando season 3 is probably around 11 ABY.
Okay,
and then Ahsoka's probably happening somewhere around that time.
Well, I think it's probably worth noting. We've discussed a lot of Star Wars content today, and there's a lot to process here. And I hope those who are watching or who are fans of the franchise felt that we discussed things that were relevant to them. And for those of you that may not be fans of Star Wars, in honor of May the 4th, now's a great time. Where would you suggest people start if they haven't seen it?
Where should they start?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one. I think the order of release is always the best.
Exact same for me.
But I also, sometimes it's hard saying that because a lot of people have a hard time getting into the original trilogy if they didn't grow up with it, because it's just kind of hokey and stuff if you're not used to it. So I don't know. I would say definitely order release, but I understand why that might be hard for some people. I definitely don't start with the sequel trilogy.
Well, then I would probably say the exact same thing you did, because I've always been a fan of chronological release in terms of when it came out. And then I guess if somebody didn't like the vibe of the OG trilogy, start with the shows. Maybe. Yeah. It's a little more modern. Can fill in some of the blanks and the gaps for them.
My second choice would be start with the prequel trilogy
Okay.
because it's more modern, even though it's not real modern anymore. But
They
like
probably
it's
laugh at the
definitely
graphics.
probably. Yeah, I guess that's true. Like maybe if you could get into, like I feel like you could get into Mandalorian because it's such a good standalone show, especially season 1. Like you
It
don't
doesn't
need to
require
have-
much knowledge.
Yeah, and it's just really well
Yeah.
done. So yeah, there could be that. That could work.
Well, dude, I feel like we could talk about Star Wars for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't think that we could even begin to touch on all the things that we've talked about in this grand galaxy.
Yeah,
You know, it's far, far away a long time ago.
yeah,
It's just, there's so much content to discuss. So if you're a Star Wars fan and you're watching this, or you're in a place where you can comment, let us know what some of your favorite Star Wars content is. I guess just share your love of the franchise with us, right?
yeah. We would love that. I mean, it's so fun just to kind of talk to people about it and just kind of share that with people, and especially people who watch the podcast. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say today?
I don't think so. I think we've said a lot.
We have. This may be one of our longest episodes ever,
Probably so far. I think it definitely will be.
and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, because it's Star Wars, and
It's
I
Star
think
Wars,
it
yeah.
deserves it.
It does. Hey,
Yeah.
if they can have 2.5 hour movies, we
Yeah.
can have over an hour
We'll
of content.
post some shorts. We'll post some shorter clips and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
Yeah.
people, I know not everyone can do the long podcast, but
We appreciate those who stick around for
Yeah.
the full episode. So actually, if you're on our streaming platforms, follow us, subscribe to us, whatever it may be on wherever you're located. If you were watching this on YouTube, be sure to subscribe first and foremost. Like the video. It helps a ton by getting it in front of other people. And comment.
Yeah.
Your engagement puts us in front of more people. We've got a lot of feedback from people that watch this. And guys, we appreciate you. But let's see what we can do to make the show grow, especially today being May the 2nd. By May the 4th, let's get some Star Wars fans up in here.
yeah, I think that would be awesome.
I do too. Do you know what else I think would be really awesome?
Huh?
Rather than doing our classic sign off, do you know what would be even more appropriate?
What's that?
Do you have an idea? Star Wars related?
I think so. But I don't want to get it wrong, so you tell me.
Can we try it at the same time just to see what happens?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
May the force be with you.
See you guys.
See ya.